How do you know when a relationship is truly over?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a tough question. I guess there are even different layers within that question. Starting with divorce, if one person in a marriage wants a divorce, it's going to happen. So you don't have a choice there. Once one person sees that process through, although it could be stopped any point along the way, so that the relationship is over. But that doesn't mean that there are not significant lingering feelings. So the relationship may be over legally, but you may still have a lot of feelings about that. I encourage folks to explore the possibility of getting help for their relationship. Someone may not want to, someone may refuse to do that. And it may seem very one-sided that only one person is working on the relationship. And I guess it depends on how much you can tolerate. It may be that you've disengaged for a while. You're just not interested. You find that you're just extremely resentful. You have to make an assessment. What's best for me? Is it best for me emotionally and physically and mentally to stay in this relationship in which I'm unhappy, I'm distressed, I'm just feeling all sorts of not good feelings? Maybe it's time to leave the relationship. I'm curious what you think about that.
I agree with everything you're saying. I think when I was going through divorce, I was the one that initiated. And for me, it's you try everything. To your point, you've tried everything. You've recommended going to counseling. You tried to have conversations. But if you're emotionally checked out, and if it's becoming where it's just it's not healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, financially to stay with this person, and you're only staying with them because it's familiar, and it's like staying in discomfort in a familiar situation seems better for you because stepping outside of it is scary. That I honestly feel like the emotional checkout and the lack of effort on behalf of the other person to me are the signs that the relationship is over. So for me, it's the detachment, it's the lack of intimacy, it's the lack of
Mm-hmm.
communication. And if you feel at any point in time that you are competing with anything, that's a huge red flag.
Mm-hmm. If I could jump in and say something else about that, and you just reminded me of that. I don't know who said it, but there's a quote along the lines of, when the pain of staying in the bud is greater than the pain it would take to blossom, then that's something to really pay attention to. If it becomes more painful to stay in that relationship than it would be to do something differently, then that's a pretty good sign that it might be time to move in a different direction. Mm.
Agreed. Make sure that you submit what you'd like to get answered, and we'll be happy to include it in one of our segments. See you next time.